When do you blame a player and when do you blame a coach? Why Bijan is worth the high pick? Are the things that they say about Kyle Pitts warranted? Let's dive deep on the bird bath. C-Mo to C. Mitchell checking in with another bird bath for Point Game Official. And first and foremost, I want to give a shout out to my former teammate and current coach of my alma mater, Marcus Jelks, and the Stevenson Jaguars for routing Jenkins in the playoffs 41-7. Jelks got them boys balling out over there at the 701, and I look for them to go deeper into the playoffs.
To say that we were unprepared in those moments, no, I'll take that.
So in the NFL, it's common that you hear coaches blame, you hear players blame. To be honest, there's so much parity in this league, except for a few just phenomenal generational studs here and there. You really can blame everybody. It's not like on the college level. Typically, some of the things that you want to rely on your coaches on are down and distance, philosophy, discipline, your alignment, how you're going to be able to play your matchups. Now with the Falcons, for the most part, two of the biggest areas that have been problems have been the defense. But the biggest thing has been penalties on the offense. Now, penalties are usually something that you look at a player individually. When you have something like back-to-back penalties in the red zone, that just kills your drive and it pushes you back out of scoring range. Every week it seems like we have a penalty where Bijan has a touchdown that comes back. You got to coach your lineup to know that when you got a player like Bijan Robinson, he's definitely earned the opportunity to make a player or two miss. And then they run this. This is what I mean by down the distance. Who do they think they're fooling with this play? Why would you take your best player off the field in this situation? On defense, our pass rush has been probably our biggest issue. But aside from that, it's been discipline, missed gap control, screen game, and man coverage a lot of the times. We got defenders peeking in the backfield. Often our linebackers and even sometimes our secondary defenders. Oftentimes, we're playing a little bit too conservative as well, too. Only rushing 3 guys at a time. There's times we can't get there with 4 defenders. I don't think that we need to only be rushing 3. You look at some of these plays with the alignment on Matthew Judon. I don't like having him inside of a tight end. We've done that with Arnold Ebiketie as well. They kind of get washed out, and I don't think they're able to give us as much effort. They're also doubling Matthew Judon. I would bring a little bit more pressure. I'd try to bring 5. I'd mix it up and get a little bit more creative with some of our zone blitzing. Bring the pressure from different places. I don't think that we have guys that can just get there one-on-one quite as frequently, aside from Matthew Judon. You look at some of the great 3-4 teams like Pittsburgh. They drop their nose tackle and some of their defensive linemen in the pass coverage in short areas. My last video, I told you I like Khalid Kareem. I'd definitely be giving him more playing time over Carter because he's stout against the run and he seems to have a better pass rushing moves at this point. And Zach Harrison to get a little bit more playing time. Zach Harrison is often disruptive, and he also had a blocked punt earlier this year, too. So, all right, guys, let's talk about Kyle Pitts. 2 things that I'm hearing now more than anything is 1, he doesn't get open, and 2, he runs lazy routes.
What the does that mean?
Kyle Pitts is wide open. He's not running a lazy route. He's trying to find a gap in the defense. Kirk actually throws this behind him. There's no reason that he needs to be throwing this ball right here. Kind of funny, one guy even said, the draft has set this franchise back 4 years and counting. Any highlighted player would probably have given us way more production than we get from KP. Devontae Smith and Kyle Pitts have almost the same production this year. We're talking about the number 2 receiver versus the number 3 or 4 option on our team. I think that's actually pretty good for a tight end. That's kind of an indictment on the wide receiver, if you ask me. Jalen Phillips. People are already upset about Arnold Ebiketie. Not even giving us 10 sacks. People be losing their wigs if we had Jalen Phillips and he was giving us that type of production. Justin Fields. Dear God. Rashawn Slater, I can't see why we would have needed another offensive tackle. Gregory Rousseau's been all right, but 4 sacks, 8 sacks, 5 sacks. 5 sacks. Kind of feel like Falcons fans would definitely be talking about Terry Kane's draft. Don't draft a guy in the first round and not give you double-digit sacks. It's kind of hard to get around that. I feel like a lot of Falcons fans are a little bit prisoner of the moment, and you guys are just tired of losing, and I get it. I'm tired of seeing us lose as well, too, but you got to trust a little bit of the process. I mean, he's a tight end. Just look at what other players around the league say about Kyle Pitts.
I tried to devastate him. I tried to pummel him, and he swam me. Good move.
Different, you know? Like, he's different, man.
As fast as any tight end that I've ever seen.
Not a lot of guys that can really go out to the number 1 receiver as a tight end and, you know, give cornerbacks matchup problems.
He runs by one of the best corners in the game, and Xavier Howard. Like, literally just runs by, and it shows the type of elite speed that he has.
Number 8. Yeah. He's good.
Now, one of the most common things that I'm seeing from a lot of people is saying that, oh, you can just get a running back anywhere, free agency in the 5th round. And typically, you guys aren't wrong. Except Bijan Robinson ain't just a running back. We're talking about one of the most dangerous weapons in the NFL, if not maybe the most dangerous player with the ball in his hands. That crazy short area quick speed. Turn a loss into a gain at the drop of the dime like Barry Sanders, who can also run between the tackles, who's not afraid of contact. 3 biggest reasons why I feel like Bijan Robinson is worth the pick is 1, it's a good possession receiver anytime you need, and is a safety valve anytime the quarterback is in trouble. Not a lot of running backs in the league who feel comfortable lining up wide and can pretty much run any route and have as good a hands as Bijan Robinson. We've seen Saquon Barkley drop wide open passes when he could have iced the game against us. We've seen Alvin Kamara drop wide open passes downfield. Things that I wouldn't see Bijan Robinson doing. I really believe he's different. And those are 2 really good running backs. Number 2 reason we don't need to take him off the field often, because he's such a good blocker, a punishing, menacing blocker. When you have a guy in who can block, run, and catch, it just opens up your playbook and it opens up the possibilities of what you could do. Number 3, running backs in the NFL don't have a high life expectancy, but Bijan Robinson very rarely takes big hits. I don't think I've actually seen him take a big hit since he's been in the NFL so far. He's usually falling forward, positioned in a way where defenders can't get a clean hit on him. And that's one of the most overlooked aspects of his game. So I think you'll have a prolonged career with him. One guy that I know was saying, I'd rather just head for a Saquon Barkley later on. We drafted someone who, in my opinion, is going to be better than Saquon Barkley on his 5th-year option. I think Bijan is one of those guys that's going to probably play 8 to 12 seasons probably, maybe even longer than that, but I think we'll definitely get a good 8 good seasons out of him for sure. So I wouldn't be that upset and pressed about having Bijan. I really appreciate you tuning in. If you're enjoying the content that we're doing over here at Point Game Official, like and subscribe. It definitely helps out the algorithm. And look for us on all social media at Point Game Official. On Instagram, Point Game Official Sports. It's on TikTok as well, and Facebook as well at Point Game. Look forward to see what kind of changes that the Falcons are going to implement this week after the bye. Stay tuned for Bird Bath, C Motor C.